Thank you, John, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to make sure that Jeff is getting my good side as his videotape runs. Jeff follows me a lot, and I'm flattered by that, but he's not following me in an effort to promote my candidacy. He's following me in an effort to try to catch me saying something inappropriate. But it's the truth, so that the Democrats can run a grainy TV commercial against me in November and use it to my disadvantage. So this is a serious business that we're about, and I'm going to choose my words with care, lest Jeff go back to headquarters at State Central and say, "I've got him." But I'm happy, with or without Jeff taping me, to tell you that in Hartford, one-party rule has brought disastrous consequences to the state of Connecticut. A year ago, in the face of the largest deficit we've ever had, Governor Malloy and the Democrats in the legislature said, the cure to what ails us is the largest tax increase ever. If we pass the largest tax increase, we will pave the way to economic prosperity for the people of Connecticut. And Republicans in the Senate and Republicans in the House said that notion is ridiculous. The worst time to visit a tax increase of this magnitude on the people of Connecticut is in the depths of a recession. So here we are a year later, having absorbed more than $1.5 billion in new taxes, and our state budget is still in deficit to the tune of $300 million. So last year the theme was, we will tax our way to prosperity. Now with a $300 million deficit, the answer was, we will borrow our way to prosperity. So the way the state chose to bridge the deficit this year was to defer paying off indebtedness that was scheduled to be paid. I would respectfully suggest that the way to prosperity is neither through taxing nor through borrowing. The way to prosperity is to shrink the size of state government, to lessen the tax burden on working people in Connecticut. And that's the message that's going to elect a whole lot of Republicans to the state Senate, to the state House of Representatives, and I hope to the United States Congress. I stood here on November 4th, I think it was November 4th, the Sunday before Election Day. I stood in this very spot, and I thanked Alyssa and her crew for the best breakfast in Litchfield County, which we haven't done yet. Thank you, guys. We all come here because we know how well fed we're going to be. But I stood on this very spot 2 weeks after announcing my candidacy for Congress and said, I'm running for Congress because I don't want Chris Donovan to be my congressman. As I stand here today, that sentiment has only grown. If you like what Chris Donovan has done to the state of Connecticut, leading the charge for the biggest tax increase ever, signing in favor of all of the borrowing, then you're going to love what he'll do for the United States of America. I don't think the prescription that he offers will make our country healthier. I think it's the prescription that we as Republicans offer. That's what's right for Connecticut. That's what's right for the United States of America. And I'm very grateful that each and every one of you has chosen to be with us this morning. And I'm going to take the license. John, is it okay if I introduce the next speaker? Jenny, were you going to do it? No, I don't want. Let me say some words, and then I'll turn it over to Ginny. I wouldn't be running for Congress if I didn't know that the 30th district would be left in very capable hands. We can pick up 4 seats in the state Senate and wrest control of that body from the Democrats. I wouldn't have been able to sleep nights if there wasn't a candidate willing to run for the office I now hold who would represent me and all of you by adhering to Republican principles. And there's no person better suited to take on the job I now have than State Representative Clark Chapin. I couldn't be happier to have him as our candidate, and I am looking forward to the day when he will be all of our senators. But we can't take anything for granted, and it's incumbent upon all of us to work as hard as we can to make sure that Clark continues to occupy the chair that Dellead's occupied for so long. Del was good enough to suggest that I might be a worthy successor to her, and there's no doubt in my mind that Clark is a worthy successor both to Del and myself. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ginny, who's going to introduce Clark.
Yes.